Hello students. In this presentation, we are going to study about shares and dividends. Before we start, let us first understand some important terms of this topic and then we will solve some problems. Let us first understand the concept of shares. Suppose we want to start a new business. For this, we require some money. This money is called as capital. Few people come together to raise some of this capital. These people who invest their money for this new business are called the promoters. The remaining capital is divided into small units called shares. These shares are made available for public to invest in business by buying them. The people who purchase these shares are called shareholders. They are in a way owner of the company. The body of people who manage company are called board of directors. And the person who leads the board and is legally responsible for the decisions made is the chairman of board of directors. Let us take an example. Suppose we want to start a new business or a company and need to raise a capital of say rupees 100 crores. Now if one of the promoter of the company invests rupees 50 crores and say another promoter invests rupees 20 crores. So we have 70 crores. The company still needs rupees 30 crores. So the company decides to raise this 30 crores by the shares or by a public issue. And this is called an IPO, initial public offer. In this case, the company may opt to assign a base value to each share. Say the company decides to assign a base value for each share as rupees 100. So the company needs to raise rupees 30 crores. So in that case, 30 crores divided by 100, there will be 3 lakh shares available for the public to buy and invest in the company. So the people buy these shares and hence they are called shareholders. They can buy any number of shares and be a part of the company. In that way, they are the owner of the company and share both profit and loss. Hope you have understood what are shares. So, the shareholders are partly owners of the company who share the profit and loss in small portion. Now let us see what are the different types of shares. Basically, there are two types, preference shares and equity shares. Preference shareholders have a preferential right on the percentage of profit or dividend and get paid before others. The percentage is fixed in preferential shares. The other type is equity shares. In this case, there are no such special rights, and the holders of these shares get the percentage of profit or dividend after preference shareholders are satisfied. The percentage of profit is not fixed and varies from year to year depending on profit or loss of the company. So we can understand it this way. The main difference is preferential shareholders get priority over equity shareholders. And the other difference is percentage of profit is fixed for preferential shareholders, whereas it varies for equity shareholders year to year. There are two types of preference shares, cumulative and non-cumulative preference shares. In case of cumulative shareholders, in case in a certain year, if the company does not pay the dividend, then it stands as an arrear for the next year and the holder has the right to claim it. Whereas in case of non-cumulative shareholders, if the company does not pay the dividend in certain year, then it does not stand as an arrear, and so the shareholder has no claim on it in the following years. Now in simple terms, you can say that cumulative shares are more secure on returns. Let us see some important terms. Please ensure that you understand these terms fully so that it will be helpful for you in solving the problems. Each financial year ends with a profit and loss statement. Now let us see what is dividend. In simple terms, it is the yearly profit you get as a shareholder depending on profit earned by the company. As we've already studied, dividend towards preferred shares is at a fixed rate. Cumulative shareholders get arrears, if any, and then the remaining profit is distributed as dividend on equity shares. This dividend may be declared as a fixed amount per share or as a percentage of the capital of the company. Now let us see what is debenture. Debenture is a borrowed money from the people for its long-term development. The company invites people to invest in debentures that as a loan to company and in return get interest at a specified rate. Now let us see what are bonus shares. As per the company policy, at times the company may decide to distribute additional shares to the existing shareholders. These are called bonus shares. These are distributed in a ratio. Say it as 1:2. Then it means 1 share per every 2 shares. You might have heard the term stock exchange while discussing about shares. A stock exchange is a facility where share transaction is carried out. A broker is required for buying or selling the shares or bonds. Stock exchange also provide facilities for issue and redemption of shares, etc., including the payment of dividends. We studied the different types of shares and dividends earlier. There are two main exchanges, Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange. They provide two share indices, BSE and NSE, which indicates the share market status and indicates the ups and downs in market activity and economy. BSE is in Mumbai and has large number of companies listed on it. The Bombay Stock Exchange Index is calculated based on 30 financially stable companies listed in market. NSE is also in Mumbai. It was established in 1992 and it provided an electronic system for exchanging the shares. This provided more ease for trading and NSE is bigger in number of shares traded. While discussing shares, you might have also heard about the term demat. When we study shares and related terms, we also need to understand what is demat account. Demat is short form of dematerialization. This account holds the shares and debentures in an electronic form. Demat accounts are maintained by two organizations, National Securities Depository Limited (NSDL) and Central Depository Services Limited. The brokers acts as an interfaces between the investor and depositors. Thus, the shares are purchased in electronic forms and not in a paper form. It has many advantages as you can see in the figure. These are easy and fast as electronic in nature. These are safer. It has a wider reach. Also, the transaction cost is reduced and multiple access points are available, as you can deal through internet at home. Now we will see some important terms from exam point of view for solving the problems. Face value of the share. It is the price stated in the body of the share or debenture, or you can say certificate, and this is called as its face value. It is usually kept within a reach of maximum shareholders. This is the value of a share when initially the company sells it to the shareholders. Now we will see what is a market value. Market value is a price at which the share is actually traded in market. This is derived by buyers and sellers. and reach agreement in secondary market. One more important term is at par. This means the face value and the market values are equal. From exam point of view, when a statement is given like stock 10% at rupees 135, we mean a share has a face value of 100 rupees and having a market value price of 135 rupees with dividend allowed 10% of the face value. So here the face value is 100 rupees. So the 10% will be 10 rupees. So the dividend allowed is 10 rupees. Now let us take an example. Two companies have shares of 12% at 124 and 15% at 150 respectively. In which of the shares the person should invest the money? Now in this problem, they have given that there are two companies. Say, let us take company A and company B, and company A has a stock of 12% at 124 and company B has stock of 15% at 150. Now we have already studied the meaning of this term. So it is 12% at 124 means the face value of the shares is 100 rupees. The market value at 124 means the market value of the share is 124 rupees. The dividend is 12%. So 12% of 100 rupees is, the dividend is always given on the face value. So 12% of 100 rupees is rupees 12. So 12 rupees is the profit or dividend, you can say. So now what is the percentage of profit when we buy those shares at rupees 124, because the market price is 124. So now we will calculate the percentage of profit per share. So it will be, you are earning 12 rupees for 124 rupees. So when we take out its percentage, it is 9.6%. Now let us come to company B. Here 15% at 150. It means the face value is not given. So we have already understood the meaning of this term in the previous session. So it is, the face value is rupees 100 and the market price is at 150 means the market price is rupees 150 and 15% is the dividend, and the dividend is always paid on the face value. So 15% of face value, that is 15% of 100 is rupees 15. This rupees 15 profit is when you buy a share at rupees 150. So at what percent? So let us first calculate the percentage. So here the percentage of profit per share is, you have earned 15 rupees for 150 rupees. So it is 10%. So you can compare the percentage of profit here. The person should invest in company B with 15% at 150 rupees because he is earning 10% profit. So the answer should be, the person should invest in company B with 15% at 150. Let us take another example. Rohit invested rupees 15,000 in 8% shares at 150 and rupees 10,000 in 12% shares at 100. How much income would he get in all? Now Rohit has invested rupees 15,000. So let us call it as investment 1 and another investment as investment 2, which is of rupees 10,000. He has invested rupees 15,000 in 8% shares at 150. So the market price of one share here is rupees 150 and the dividend per share is 8%. And the face value is not mentioned here, so let us take it as rupees 100. In second investment, he has invested rupees 10,000 in 12% shares at 100. So market price of one share here is rupees 100 and 12% is the dividend. Again, the face value is not mentioned, so let us take it as rupees 100. Now first let us calculate the total number of shares in the first case. So the total number of shares is equal to the investment divided by the market price of one share. So it is 15,000 divided by 150. So 100 shares. So the total number of shares here is rupees 100. And since the dividend per share is 8%, and we already know that the dividend is always paid on the face value. So 8% of rupees 100 is again rupees 8. So the dividend is rupees 8 per share. So for the 100 shares, it is 8 into 100, that is rupees 800. So he will get a profit of rupees 800 on the investment of rupees 15,000. In the second case, let us first calculate the total number of shares. So he has invested rupees 10,000. The shares are, the market price of the share is 100. So again 10,000 divided by 100 is 100. So total shares here is 100. 12% is the dividend. So for rupees 100 it is again 12 rupees. So the total dividend here is 12 into 100, rupees 1200. So total income will be rupees 800 and rupees 1200. So it is rupees 2000. So Rohit will get rupees 2000 as a total income. Let us take another example. Two companies have shares of 12% at 124 and 16% at 145 respectively. In which of the shares would the investment be more profitable? Now this is the same problem compared to the first problem which we already solved, that we have to compare the investments and we have to decide which is the more profitable one. So in this case the market prices are given and you have to find, so to compare here you need to find out the percentage so that you can compare it in an easy way. So you have to first find out the percentage of profit per share and then compare. So you can just refer to the first problem and try it on your own. Let us take the next example. Shivam purchased shares of face value rupees 4,500 by investing rupees 6,750. What was the market price of a share? If the shares fetched 6% dividend, what percentage of dividend did he get on his investment? So here Shivam has invested rupees 6,750 for the shares of face value of rupees 4,500. So the face value of shares is rupees 4,500 and the market price or of the shares, or you can say his investment, is rupees 6,750. The dividend is given as 6%. Now let us first find out the number of shares. So the number of shares will be the face value of the shares divided by face value of one share. Let us take it as 100. So the number of shares will be 4,500 divided by 100, which is equal to 45. Now once we calculate the number of shares, it will be easy for us to calculate the market price of one share. So the market price of 45 shares is 6,750. So market value of one share is 6,750 divided by 45 is equal to 150. So market price of one share is rupees 150. Now we have to calculate the dividend fetched. So here the dividend is given as 6%. The dividend is always fetched on the face value. So we have to find out the 6% of the 4,500. So it is 6 into 4,500 divided by 100. So that is equal to rupees 270. So the percentage of dividend he gets on investment is, so the market price of the shares is 6,750. So he gets rupees 270 on investment of 6,750. So the percentage here you get is 4%. Mr. Shah invested rupees 13,500 in 5% stock at rupees 90 and rupees 24,000 at 7.5% at rupees 120. Find 1. Total number of shares of each type. 2. Total income. So here Shah has invested in shares in two types of shares. One is rupees 13,500 in 5% stock at rupees 90. So he has invested rupees 13,500. Let us take it as investment 1, rupees 13,500, and he has invested in 5% stock at rupees 90. So at 90 means the market price of one share here is rupees 90. The dividend is 5%, face value rupees 100. Now we will first find out the total number of shares in the first case. So the total number of shares is equal to investment divided by the market price, that is equal to 150. So here the number of shares is 150. The dividend is 5%. So for each share he gets a dividend of 5%. Since the face value is rupees 100, the dividend for each share is rupees 5. So 5 into 150 is equal to rupees 750. So he gets a dividend of rupees 750 on the investment of rupees 13,500. In the second case, in his second investment, he has invested rupees 24,000. Market value of one share here is rupees 120. And the dividend is 7.5%. The face value is 100. The total number of shares will be, since he has invested rupees 24,000, we have to take 24,000 divided by the market value of each share, which is 120. So 24,000 divided by 120 is 200. The dividend fetched is 7.5%. So the face value is 100. So he gets rupees 7.5 on each share. So there are 200 shares. So 7.5 per share. So 7.5 into 200 will be rupees 1500. So total income he gets is rupees 750 plus rupees 1500. Rupees 2250 rupees he gets as a dividend on both of his investments. Now let us take one example on brokerage. So here Shailesh invested 1080 in shares of face value 50 at 54. After receiving dividend on them, say 8%, he sold them at 52. In each of the transactions, he paid 2% brokerage. How much did he gain or lose in the overall transaction? So let us first consider transaction 1. Shailesh invested rupees 1080. So his investment is rupees 1080. The face value of the share is given as rupees 50 and he bought them at rupees 54 per share. So the market value of each share is rupees 54. The dividend paid is 8% in both the transactions. So the dividend paid here is 8%. The brokerage in each of the transaction he paid is rupees 2%. So the brokerage is 2%. Now we will first find out the number of shares. He bought the shares for rupees 1080 and the market price of one share is 54. So 1080 divided by 54 is 20. So the number of shares is 20. The dividend on the share is always paid on the face value of the share. So the dividend is 8% on the face value of share. So 8% of rupees 50 is 8 into 50 divided by 100 is equal to rupees 4. So the dividend on share, one share is rupees 4. Number of shares is 20. So the total dividend he received on 20 shares is 4 into 20 is rupees 80. Now we have to always keep in mind that the brokerage is paid always on the face value. So here the face value of each share is 50. So 2% of brokerage on one share. So it is 2% of 50. So 2% of 50 is 2 into 50 divided by 100 is rupees 1. So brokerage of rupees 1 is paid for each share and the brokerage is always calculated on the face value. We have to keep this in mind that brokerage is always paid on the face value. So rupees 1 brokerage for each share. So here the total number of shares is 20. So the brokerage of 20 shares will be 1 into 20 is equal to rupees 20. So if you see that there is a gain in first transaction is rupees 80, the total dividend he receives on 20 shares. But since he paid brokerage, we have to minus that. So 80 minus 20 is 60 rupees. So he gets 60 rupees in first transaction. Now let us come to the second transaction. After that, he sold those shares for rupees 52. So the market value of each share is rupees 52. He again pays a 2% brokerage. So he has 20 shares which we have already calculated. So when he sells them for rupees 52 per share, the total sale is 52 into 20. It is 1040. So he gets 1040. The brokerage is paid on the face value. So the brokerage of again 20 shares here is, so we have already calculated the brokerage of 2% on the face value, which is rupees 1. So the brokerage of 20 shares will be 1 into 20 is again 20 rupees. So he pays 20 rupees as brokerage while this transaction is carried out. So we will find out the net gain and loss now. So he invested rupees 1080. So we will take it as a minus 1080. He got rupees 60 or he got a profit of rupees 60 in the first transaction. So we will add 60. When he sold the shares in the market again, he gets rupees 1040. So we will add 1040. But he again paid brokerage of rupees 20. So we have to minus that. So it is 1100 minus 1100, 0. So there is no loss and no gain in both the transactions. So there is no loss and no gain. A man invested rupees 6,200 in 6% share at 124. How much dividend he will get? How much percentage of dividend does he get on his investment? So this is the same kind of problem which we have already solved in previous slides. So investment is given, market value is given, dividend is given. First find out the number of shares and then find out the dividend fetched, and then you can again find out the percentage of dividend he gets on his investment. So you can just try this on your own. We will take another problem on the brokerage, a similar kind of a problem which we already solved. So here Mr. Joshi spent 7,560 in purchasing 5% shares at 126. After getting the dividend on them, he sold them at the same price. In each transaction, he had to pay 2% brokerage. Did he gain or lose in total transaction, and by how much? So it is the same kind of problem which we have already solved. So let us take the first transaction. The investment is rupees 7,560. The face value of one share is rupees 100. The market value of one share is rupees 126. The dividend percent is 5%. The brokerage he paid in the first transaction is 2%. Now let us first find out the number of shares. The investment or the market price he paid is rupees 7,560. The market value of each share is rupees 126. So 7,560 divided by 126 is equal to 60. So the number of shares is equal to 60. Now dividend on one share is 5% of 100 is rupees 5, because the face value we have taken it as 100. 5% of 100 is rupees 5. So total dividend he gets is on 60 shares. So total dividend received on 60 shares is 5 into 60 rupees 300. Brokerage is paid on always on the face value. So the face value here is rupees 100. So 2% of 100 is rupees 2. So for each share he pays a brokerage of rupees 2. So 2 into 60 is rupees 120. So the total brokerage paid is rupees 120. So he gets dividend of 300 but pays brokerage of rupees 120. So the gain in the first transaction is 300 minus 120 rupees 180. Now let us take the second transaction. He sold the shares back in the market at a selling price of rupees 126. So at the same price, it's given here that he sold them at the same price. So selling price of or the market price of one share here is rupees 126. He has 60 shares. So 126 into 60 is 7,560. So he gets rupees 7,560 by selling them. Now, but he has to pay the brokerage here also. So the brokerage is always paid on the face value, and we have already calculated the brokerage. So it is rupees 2 per share. He has 60 shares. So the brokerage here is rupees 120. So he invested rupees 7,560. So let us take it as minus. He gains rupees 180 in the first transaction. So plus 180. He sold them back in the market for rupees 7,560. So he gets rupees 7,560. So plus 7,560. And he pays a brokerage of rupees 120. So minus 120. So this, when after calculation, you will get it as rupees 60. So Mr. Joshi gains rupees 60. So he gets a profit of rupees 60 in both of these transactions.